Well, hello, beautiful people of the internet. It's Chris Wood from the Rising Phoenix Mental Health Channel, and today we're going to talk about triggers. Hi everyone. So Chris Wood here from the Rising Phoenix Mental Health Channel, and as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about triggers today. Specifically, I want to talk about S.U.D.S, which is a type of coping mechanism that is utilized with psychologists, counselors, in treatment facilities, that sort of thing. From anything from OCD to anxiety, PTSD, any anxiety type disorders. It is a distressor type scale that can be utilized to de-stress you, or literally what it is it allows you to measure your stress levels in a certain way. So S.U.D.S. What S.U.D.S stand for? It stands for Subjective Units of Distress. And what it means is you're utilizing a specific scale to measure the amount of stress that you are in a particular environment. It could be during an exposure, meaning you're putting yourself in a situation where you know you're going to get stressed, and work on your coping mechanisms to actually get better at managing your stress. It's a scale. It could be from 1 to 10 or 1 to 100. And nobody's ever at 1, because then you would literally be dead. Everybody has a little bit of stress in their life. What? Its main purpose is to understand the distress levels in an individual. That's basically what it is. I've utilized it in treatment, and it's worked very well for me. I continue to use it. It is a way to measure your brain to try to figure out how long it takes your brain and you to come down from a stressful event. Basically, that's what it is. And I will put a couple links down at the bottom, one being of a reference that I've utilized that you can take a look at and review more of what S.U.D.S is all about, as well as a scale which you can actually print out or you can keep on your iPad or your computer, laptop, whatever you have, to just sort of get an idea of where you're at. This goes back to having some sort of self-awareness in your recovery with PTSD, with any anxiety disorders such as OCD or general anxiety. The whole point of it is to also measure how quickly you return to a stress-free state. So it's utilized really to rewire your brain when you're experiencing stress, particularly when you're experiencing an exposure. And what that means is that you have been triggered with something. That would be the exposure, and how you deal with that trigger is part of the exposure. So you utilize this S.U.D.S scale in order to have a really good idea as to where you were on the scale as far as your stress is concerned during the exposure. It's something that you can be aware of during the trigger, perhaps. Sometimes not so much.
You serious?
Definitely after you've had the trigger, you can measure how you reacted to that particular exposure. And what's really, really good about the S.U.D.S model is that it really allows you to have some confidence around your triggers. It allows you to be able to have a tool that you can utilize wherever you are. It could be in your home, you could be in the grocery store, at a movie, going for a hike, whatever it is, that you can utilize to be more aware of how you're handling your stress. It gives you the ability to ground yourself during the trigger and will also allow you to have a conversation with either a good friend or a counselor, your support team, around how you dealt with that particular exposure. What's really good about S.U.D.S, the S.U.D.S scale, is that it allows you to improve your communication. It allows you to be able to describe how you're feeling during that particular exposure, and that's huge because it kind of takes you out of the actual trigger that's happening. And like I said, guys, sometimes that's just not going to happen. You're not going to be able to go, okay, I'm triggered or I'm having an anxiety attack and this is how I'm feeling. It doesn't happen like that all the time. But it could. It could very well happen that way. But it will allow you to have some consistency throughout your recovery period. The average is in around 60 to 70, which will allow you to rewire your brain with the anxiety or the OCD, like I said, or the PTSD. It allows you to do that. So it's huge. It's a great tool. And once you know, you check yourself. And that's where that grounding comes into play. To give you an example, oh, great. I'm coming up to a really bad collision on the highway. Okay. Well, what am I feeling right now? What's my S.U.D.S at? Well, my S.U.D.S are at about an 85. So I'm going to the point of where I'm going to flush my emotions, which is not good because at that point you are completely fight, flight, or freeze, and you have no control. And that is not a good place to be if you're in a car driving on the highway.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
Right? So this allows you to measure how you're feeling. It'll also play into what are your feelings. And then at that point you can look at, well, how am I going to get myself back down? It's simple as that. I would love to hear some comments from you beautiful people on the internet as to if you have any suggestions, any other tools that you would use to ground yourself. Please click the like button and click the notifications button and subscribe if you're enjoying my channel. I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world and be safe.